Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. I am live. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome. Oh, there was our first orb. That was crazy, y'all. My name is Lee Para. This is Unleash Your Light. Of course, I am approximately 15 minutes late, but that's nothing new. You guys know I'm going to be late. You should just plan that I'm 15 minutes late, right? Hi, Michelle. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here this morning. I'm excited today just in general because as a person who lived in Florida for close to 30 years, I still get giddy when it snows. And they keep saying we're going to get snow tonight, y'all. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping that they cancel school tomorrow and I could sleep in. That 6 a.m. gets me. Hi, Carla. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you not hear me? Oh, hey, you know what? It would help if I did this, right? Oh, is that better? I did not even put in my earpiece. Let's see what happens on YouTube. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. See, the snow just makes me lose my little brain a little bit. Oh, there went another one. My goodness, we are full of orbs today. This is beautiful. I always love it when they come out to support. They're like, you got this, girl. Calm down. You're all right. Everything is good. Hi, Lynn Marie. Okay, take a little sip from my fancy Ray Dunn mug. All right. Okay, good, Michelle. All right. So, thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. I don't even ask for people to share out anymore. You know what? My prayer, my little meditation I do before I start the show every time is always, please allow those who need the message to find the message. And please allow the message to find those who need it. Hi, Jake. Welcome. Hi, John. So that's what I always hope for is that the people who need the message get the message. So I don't even bother to ask people to share out anymore. Pamela, yay! I don't even bother to ask people to share out anymore. It goes where it goes, and I'm unconcerned about that part. Because I know the universe is going to put it right in front of whoever needs it. And if somebody feels like they want to share, that's because someone who is going to see it through them is going to be there. Oh, am I glitching out? Okay, y'all. If I'm glitching out over here, I'm also broadcasting on YouTube. So you can go out, scroll up on my little page, and there's a link to the YouTube one. And for some reason, I don't know, my phone does these weird things, but only when I get live. But I'm holding on to my crystal, so let's see if this will help the broadcast. You know, when I started doing the shows like 3 years ago, I had so many problems with my Wi-Fi. And I started holding on to my crystal, my rose quartz, and I could always tell if I didn't have it because the thing would go crazy. Thanks, Jake. Hello on YouTube. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. The Wi-Fi would go crazy if I didn't have my little rose quartz. But I also used to get so like emotionally involved in the show, like really, really like this, that I would interrupt the broadcast with my energy. At least that's how I used to think of it. So we have my co-host Q back here. Oh, he's over there on Facebook, but over here on YouTube, back there in his spot. And we still have the pumpkin that never quits. Let me tilt this. Just look at that. That pumpkin from Halloween, actually from the second week of October. It's still perfect and beautiful. Prometheus back there chained to the rock, right, y'all? It's like torture how long he has to live in that state on that pumpkin. All right, let's just get right into the topic because I could just sit here and yap all day, you know? Okay, so today we're going to talk about 5 spiritual traps that people fall into and how to avoid them. And don't anyone be offended, okay? If something I say makes you feel some type of way, it's probably because it's a spot in you that needs a little bit of healing. I say that about everything, you guys. If you've been watching me, then you know anything that gives us a strong reaction is a place that needs a little bit of healing. But because I'm going to be talking about things that people do, you may find yourself falling into one of those categories. Please don't be offended. Yes, trigger warning. Please don't be offended. Don't be offended. It just means you need a little bit of extra love. It just means it's a space that you may not be able to see. Most of us are blind to our own issues. Most of us don't really see those spots. And even when we begin to be self aware, and even when we're deep into the self awareness, there are often places that are so hidden. Hi, Nancy. There are often places within us that are so hidden, so well protected by the mechanism that we put in place so that we don't have to feel that, deal with that, work with that, that we end up not even seeing it. Hi, Tribe, welcome. That we don't even end up seeing it. And because we don't see it, we can't fix it. Thank you. Look, check this out, Nancy. Woo, I'm dipped in fire. I talked about this last week. I'm dipped in fire now. So those things that we can't see, those places that are so well protected by our defense mechanisms are exactly where we need to be. But sometimes they just don't get poked unless we're in those situations where someone's poking them. Well, guess what? I got my poker today. I'm not trying to poke you, but it can really help sometimes. It's like I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they were talking about how they were so good at being single, but now that they were in a relationship, they were having all this stuff come up, and they've been single for so long and really good at it, they didn't even realize that that stuff still hurt. There are certain situations that you cannot heal unless you are in them. And I talk about this in my Face the Fire talks when I get all, you have to face the fire. I get that way in those Face the Fire talks because until you confront yourself with those situations, you are not going to be able to heal what it is that is triggered by those situations. If you take yourself out of situations with toxic people, and I'm not saying that you should stay and be abused, but if you take yourself out of places where there are toxic people or situations where you don't feel honored, before you figure out why you feel so strongly that way, not because of what they're doing, but because of what it brings up in you, then you're missing the opportunity to heal that space. Because the universe is giving us the opportunity over and over again to heal those unhealed places in us. So if we run away every time, if we turn away, if we say that's not about me, then we're missing the opportunity. Oh, yes, everybody send Pamela some healing, please. Pamela has been struggling with that influenza. So, and her little ones. Oh, I'm glitching again. Y'all, if I'm glitching, please move over to YouTube. You had a trigger in your dream. Okay, so once again, if I glitch over here on Facebook, please move over to the YouTube. It seems to be working well. It seems to be going nice and smoothly. I appreciate that because this is a good one. And I'm going to take this one probably within the next 2 or 3 days and edit it down and cut out all my yap yaps. I know some of y'all like the yap yaps, but some of y'all really want me to get to the point. So let's get to the point. Okay, so since we were just talking about those situations with other people, here's the first one, and I'm sure you've all heard it. That sounds like a you problem. Or you need to deal with that. I'm just speaking my truth. You need to deal with that. You're the one with the problem, right? And spiritual people will do this a lot. Hi, Arlen. Spiritual people will do this a lot. They will say, this is just the way that it is. And if you have a problem with it, then that's for you to figure out. Now, is that true? Yes, to a point. But I had a conversation with a very fairly well-known spiritual person that is here on Facebook one time, and it was on the air, so I'm not talking. I got no shade. I'm not talking out of school. And we had this conversation on the air where I was talking about, and I do a whole show about don't take it personally, but it's all about you. Hi, Katie cutie. So when I was having this conversation with them, I said, if someone says to you, you're acting like an asshole, and they go, that's your issue. I am just speaking my truth. You kind of have to ask yourself, am I being an asshole? Am I being an asshole? There's always two parts to it because what they're bringing to you is something that you're asking for. What they're bringing to you is something that the universe is saying that you need. You are now mirroring that back. And once again, if I'm glitching over here, please move over to the YouTube. Hi, Jessica. So you have to be in this constant space of awareness of what you're saying, awareness of how it's received without diluting what needs to be said, and also while recognizing how it is received. And I know that that's a lot to do when you're just having regular conversation with people. It takes practice. It does take practice. And you have to balance that with there's a level of emotional detachment that comes the deeper you go into the spiritual practice, the deeper you go into your own self-awareness, there becomes an emotional detachment in that space. And that space of emotional detachment is often with those we love the most. So, like kicking out your grown son because he's 30 and he lives in your basement. And recognizing he's going to struggle, but also having to detach yourself from his pain, right? Hi, Rudolph. So there's this balance constantly, right? I talk a lot about the yin yang that moves. So the balance is always like this. It's always that little line is always going back and forth, right? And so in that space, we're always having to filter what we say through unconditional love and receive what is said to us through unconditional love. And to drop things at people's feet with the excuse of, I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just being real. You have a problem with it. That sounds like a you thing. Is irresponsible spirituality. Is irresponsibly emotionally. You are throwing grenades and not being accountable for where they land. And that's not to say that what you have to say isn't important. That's not to say that your point of view isn't specific and necessary. It's not even to say that that person may very deeply need to hear what you have to say. But delivering it through a space of unconditional love makes all the difference, whether you are loving that person or not. Because sometimes we have to say these things to people that we have issues with, to people we have problems with. We have to talk to people at work and be rude or be horrible or be tough with them. And even tough love is the second half of that, right? So when I say the thing about kicking your son out because he's 30 and he lives in your basement, you also have to recognize that you created an atmosphere where he was living in your basement for that long. And that there needs to be some sort of emotional support with that push out of the nest. However that goes. It's a very interesting balance and interesting dance in this first spiritual trap, in this first spiritual pitfall, because of the temptation to believe that everything that we say, as long as we're speaking from truth, is right. Everything that we say, as long as we're speaking from our place of heart, it's right. Oh, Stephanie, go over to the YouTube. I put another link. Anyone who is glitching over here onto Facebook, over here on the Facebook, I put a link to the YouTube. The YouTube is not glitching. All people over here, I got 3 people over here watching. Hi. They are seeing me and hearing me just fine. I think it's not glitching at all. For some reason, I overload my phone with energy when I start doing my show. Oh, another orb. They are so active today. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's the first spiritual trap. And if you find yourself in that space where you're saying, man, that's about you. You're upset about what I just said. Too bad for you. Sorry, learn how to deal with it. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and however you feel, you feel. There are some situations where that's 100% appropriate. Said with love and a net, not a net, a net for the other person, where you're giving them that tough love and then saying, I love you. I love you in this information. I'm trying to give it to you in the most loving way that I can. It doesn't mean you shouldn't I mean, things are going to hurt when you say things to people. We are going to have these situations with people. But, hi Zenapax, always delivering it through the filter of unconditional love and aware and accountable for where those words land, aware and accountable for what then happens to that information when it is received, is a part of the spiritual journey that we are on. Because if you drop grenades without paying attention to where they land, you're literally only thinking of yourself. You're only thinking of you. Hi, Zena. And once again, if it's glitching over here, please go over to YouTube. I put a link right above my thing. If you're not watching it here, you can click on the link here. It'll bring you to my page. Bloop, 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 and there's my YouTube. And they're doing good over here. So, all right, good. Stephanie Lynn moved over. She has good reviews for the YouTube picture. Okay, so that was spiritual trap number one. Spiritual trap number one was that sounds like a you problem. Okay. So let's go from that sounds like a you problem to the next spiritual trap, which is if I heal other people, I will be healed. If I heal everyone around me, then I will be healed. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Can it help in your healing? Yes. But many spiritual people think if I do more healing of those people out there, if I'm doing my coaching and I'm doing my leadership and I'm, doing that healing, that's going to fix me. But what usually happens is, number one, they don't ever turn it inwards. And they end up in this space where they're only pushing healing outwards. And number two, I would say 80% of the time, the people that come to them have the exact same issues that they do. The same issues that they have been trying to heal or that they need to heal. Zena, go to the YouTube, please. Yeah, I even have my crystal. It should not be doing that. So they will push their healing outward. They will take as many clients as they can. They will speak to as many people as they can to heal them without turning the healing on themselves. They'll help every one of their friends if they're not like getting paid for it. They'll help every one of their friends and give advice to everyone they meet, but not turn it on themselves. And meanwhile, the advice they're giving out is advice they need to hear. But because they have that blind spot or because they don't want to deal with it, can I post the link again? I don't know. Let me see. Let's give it a try, huh? Oh, another orb, y'all. This is crazy how many orbs there are. All right. I don't know if YouTube can still see me. YouTube, I'm still there. Let's see. I'm still here, YouTube. Don't go anywhere. I'm just opening Facebook so I can share the link again for Nancy. All right. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds here. We'll go to my page. I'll put it in the comments on the live. Excuse the sound that comes through. Actually, the sound is probably going to come through my head, isn't it? Let's see here now. Here we go. We'll do this. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Oop, right there. There we go. Okay, I'm pasting it into the thing. All right, let's see if it entered. There we go. All right. It is in the thing. I'm back. Hopefully I was still there. Okay. So, healing other people will not heal you. It won't. Will it help you? Yes, it will help you if you turn it inwards. If you are the observer, if you are paying attention during those moments of the healing, if you are recognizing how their issue mirrors your issue. And that's a very hard space to be in because healing is not easy. It is not always a simple thing, and we are often so focused on the other person that we're not focused on what it's doing for us, that we're not focused on how it's affecting our energy and what we are doing. So that's spiritual trap number 2, is healing other people does not heal you. Which leads us in to spiritual trap number 3. The knowledge is not more important than the experience. The knowledge is not more important than the experience. Oftentimes when spiritual people get stuck, or they're not sure what to do next, or even if they're not feeling the connection, or maybe they think that they're feeling the connection. Hi, Christy. Or they're feeling the connection, they will seek as much knowledge as possible, and yet never actually digest the knowledge. They learn it, they can do it, but they are lacking the connection, the actual connection with divine. Because when you are connecting directly with divine, you don't need any of that knowledge to do that. Now, this is not to say that everyone who has a bunch of knowledge is wrong. I'm not saying that at all. Like I said at the beginning of this, trigger warning, don't get offended by the stuff I'm saying. But I meet a lot of people who can speak the speak and talk the talk, but heart to heart, blank, empty. They're not connected to others, and they're not connected to spirit, divine, God, Fred. It doesn't make a difference what you call it. And so because there is a lack that they also feel, they will continue to seek and seek and seek more knowledge, more knowledge, more knowledge, more knowledge, without ever actually getting that experience of that connection directly. Because you don't need any knowledge to connect directly. You don't have to know Bible quotes. You don't have to know rituals. You don't have to know sacred geometry. You don't have to know the names of the 12 houses of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. You don't have to know any of that. You don't have to know about your chakras. All you need to know is that God is within you. Light is within you. Divine dwells within you, and you are the physical expression of that. And I would attest that in the human experience, there is no right and wrong way to do anything if you are connecting to the light. As long as you're connecting, you're good. You're good. You don't have to have all of that. Let's see, Christy is saying, I've been speaking to people the last couple of weeks. For example, Buddha was not a pushover because I've spoken truth in the moment that seemed to them that I wasn't an enlightened being. Okay, Christy, we talked about that a few minutes ago. Delivering your message through the filter of unconditional love, you still have to be accountable for where it lands. You still have to be accountable for dropping that grenade. You still have to be accountable for not necessarily how they receive it, but for the way that it will be received. Not every audience is ready for every set of words. Oh, another one. Beautiful. Not every audience is ready for every truth you have to speak. So it becomes a space of discernment of, is this something that I have to say right now? And am I saying it because universe is telling me that they need this? Or am I saying it because I need it? Am I saying it because I'm trying to validate my own beliefs? Often people who, I'm not saying this is you, Christy, but a lot of times you'll meet people who are very strong about their opinions, right? And they're doing that because they are pushing the information outwards to validate that they believe it, to validate that they are right. And that leads us into spiritual trap number 4, a closed mind. A closed mind. And I have to say, this world has a lot of closed minds, of course. That's the energy that we live in right now. Although minds are opening, eyes are opening, we are waking up more and more people every single day by the good work that you and I are doing. Right? However, let me take a little sip of my coffee here. Sorry, y'all. However, even in the spiritual community, there are closed minds. And Christy, you might have said the right thing at the right time, but there are people who believe if you are blunt, then you are not spiritual. If you curse, you are not spiritual. And they have a very closed mind about that opinion. And because their mind is closed, they are refusing information that the universe is trying to send them. There are many people in our spiritual community who are 1,000% convinced that Donald Trump is the bringer of the great change, that he is breaking the cabal, that he is destroying corruption, and that he is the one that's going to take us into the golden age or whatever, however they word it, and break apart the shadow governments and all that kind of stuff. I've heard all of it. Do I have a closed mind to it? No, I don't. I do believe that he's going to mess things up. I do believe that he's going to break up stuff that's been happening. I do believe that he's going to cause a shift, but not because he's the best person, not because he's some spiritual leader in disguise, but rather because he is the epitome of that greed, corruption, and negative feelings without empathy, without a heart, without kindness, without compassion. That's my opinion. I took in all the information and then I looked at the actions, I looked at the words, I looked at the energetic intention, and there is a combination of truth here. The truth is often several things stuck together. The truth is often a combination of it, and we've talked about this on the show. Maybe these last couple shows, I've said exactly the same thing. If there is a yellow box on the floor, and I'm wearing red glasses and you're wearing blue glasses, then I see the box as orange and the other person sees the box as green. Hi, Susan, welcome. But if you are looking at that box and saying, I'm not wearing any glasses and I am absolutely sure that that box is orange, or I am absolutely sure that that box is green and I refuse to take off my glasses, that is a closed mind. That is a closed mind, and a closed mind stops your spiritual growth no matter what your mind is closed about. The most pious religious person, the most holy of the holy in whatever religious belief system, if they say this is the only truth, this is the only way to find enlightenment, saving, God, blah, 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 then they are a closed mind and their own growth is stunted. When you say that something is definitely not true, period, end of story, and I'm not listening to anything else, now you are a closed mind. And a closed mind stunts growth. So, like you're saying, the personal perspective, absolutely. Truth is in the eye of the beholder, but there are facts. That box is yellow. Although if we go deeper than that into science, is the box really there? But that's, we are talking about the 3D human plane here, combined with the spiritual. I'm using it as a metaphor, y'all. So there is a fact that the box is yellow. But I'm seeing it as orange and they're seeing it as green. If we go to the government, there is a fact that there are children in prison cages at the border. It is a fact that rights for gay and lesbian and LGBTQ people here in the States is being taken away, has already been taken away to a part. It is a fact that environmental rules meant to protect the environment have been removed so that companies can make more money. Those are facts. But when you look at those facts with a closed mind, Now your ability to either make change, to learn, to interact with someone about that, to have productive conversation, to move things forward in a different direction is completely stunted. Because if you say we have to do that for our capitalist society and that's that, and those people shouldn't have come to the border and they're all criminals and that's a closed mind. If you say global warming is a hoax 100% and that's a closed mind. Now there's nowhere to go from that. There's no further conversation. It's like having an argument with someone. You're having a discussion or an argument and they go, nope, argument over. I have nothing else to say about this. Is that not the worst feeling in the world, especially if you're a person who likes to hash things out until there's closure for both sides? When somebody just decides, nope, I'm done talking about it. Sorry, walks away. It feels terrible from the other side. It feels terrible from the other side. And that closed mind, that person walked away without fully exploring the situation. Now, maybe they didn't need to do it in that moment. Maybe they went off and had some deep thoughts and did a little bit of meditation. But usually a person with a closed mind doesn't look any deeper. They accept it exactly as they are. Now, why did they close their mind? Could be because there's something there that their mechanism, their defense mechanism, is trying to protect. It's trying to protect them from something. Just like the blind spot that we have towards ourselves when we're doing our journey of self-awareness, when we're going inwards, right? So that leads us into the next thing, which the world is so terrible. Everything bad is going on out there. Nobody cares about anything. All of this is an illusion, so I'm going to disengage. That's the fifth spiritual trap. That the world is so terrible that I'm just going to step out of it and not participate. And beam me up. Why aren't they coming to get me in their spaceship? I wish I could just leave. Hi, Brian. I wish I could just leave. I wish I didn't have to be in this human body anymore. That's the fifth spiritual pitfall. Because that's a level of detachment, like I talked about in the earlier one. You do have to have a level of detachment. Oh, another good orb. You do have to have a level of detachment when you are in this space of self-awareness and allowing others to have their own feeling, allowing others to have their own healing, right? Without getting so entangled in their energy. But you can literally detach too much so that you come across as no longer of this world. You can detach through depression to a point where you don't want to participate in anything anymore, no matter how spiritually gifted you are. Some of the most gifted mediums I know personally want to detach from this world, don't want to be here anymore, don't want to deal with any of this stuff anymore. They either want to go back to living in ignorant bliss of all the stuff in the world, or they just don't want to be here anymore. And they go through crippling depression over this. We always have to be mindful of the fact, yes, we are a divine being having a human experience, but to have that human experience, we must participate in human life. We must participate in what's going on our planet. We must participate in what's going on in our governments. We must participate in what's going on in our homes. If we detach from human life, we are missing the point of this experience here on Earth. And when we get to the other side, we're going to kick ourselves. Because I have heard that people wait in line, energies wait in line to get a chance to incarnate on Earth in a particular type of way, to go through this journey, like rides at Disney World. Now, is that right? Is that wrong? Do you have a closed mind about that? I don't know. But what if it is right and you have wasted your time here on Earth, hating every moment of your human existence, cursing those people who have hurt you, waiting for the day that you die, and then you die and you go, oh shit, now I have to wait 1,000 years before I get to come back and live on Earth again and taste chocolate and feel sex. It feels like 1,000 years since I did that, but that's neither here nor there. The human experience is the whole point of incarnating here on earth. So don't fall into that spiritual trap of, I wish I could leave my body. I wish I didn't have to be here. I wish that they would beam me up. I wish that the spaceship would come and poof us all to the new earth. This human experience that we are going through is a privilege. It is an exciting journey that we're on. And is it difficult? Yes, it's difficult. But you know what? It was difficult for the pioneers when they came to this country, pushing their way across through the wilderness to create new homesteads. It was difficult, but the journey was worth it for them. What they found was worth it. The feeling of freedom that they had never had in their countries that were so oppressive was worth every bit of the hardship. The human life that you have led prior to your awakening is that oppressive home that you are coming from. And the beautiful energy of unconditional love is the freedom that you are journeying towards, that you are walking through. You are free on this whole journey. You are embraced on this entire trip that we are on, and it is a trip. You are beloved, you matter, you are loved in this human experience. And the universe and God does that same thing that I was talking to y'all about when delivering the messages in unconditional love. Because when the universe speaks to us, they are speaking through unconditional love, even if those grenades land, kaboom, and blow up our world. They still land in kindness because they are leading us to the next thing, because they are taking us someplace that we need to go for our own growth. Hi, Krista. Know that what you are doing is important. Know that there is a purpose to every thought, every word, every action, every choice that you make, because it is leading you down the path to the frontier, into the awakening, into your purpose, into your job, into what it is that you're going to be doing. Not just here, but on the other side as well. When you get to the end of this journey, that's taking you into the next one. How do you want to get there? What do you want to look back on in your life? It's so important that you love you, that you are aware of yourself, that you know yourself so well that you recognize these traps before they catch you. Pay attention. Pay attention. Know thyself. Beautiful, Christy. Self-love is one of the most difficult journeys anyone can go on. And I believe it is the purpose of this, because as we love ourselves, we are embracing divine, and as we change the energy in the world. We shift the frequency of everything around us when we love us. We shift the frequency of everything around us when we love us. When we accept ourselves, when we love ourselves, when we validate our own awesomeness. All right, y'all. I've been on too long. I love every single one of you. And if you missed stuff on Facebook, I have it posted live over here on YouTube. And if you are over here on YouTube and you don't know who I am, go over Facebook and follow me. I do these every week. And I am so grateful that you guys came. Hi, Amanda. You just caught the ending. I'm so excited that you guys were able to join me here. If you are local, I do meetups all the time. I do meetups at least once a month, the first Monday of the month. And now I'm facilitating a lot more through the Unity Center, Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center that I belong to here. We have lots of amazing speakers coming. I have my book. You are certainly welcome to go to my website and pick it up. It is $9.99 for a physical copy like this, super cute, but you can get the digital one for $2.99 and you can read it on anything you want. And you guys, I still have a free book on my website that you can download in PDF form for free. That's right, for free. Thank you very much. That's the next one that's going to be published. So you can get it now before the edits, before my publisher has gotten a hold of it. You can get your fingers on it and read it raw as it is right now. So feel free to go over there. I would appreciate your email address. I'm going to start sending out the shows every week. So that way, if you miss what's going on, if you miss the show, you can get it. I'll probably put some updates on what I'm doing locally. And I'll also put some stuff about what's going on in the world because we have to face the fire, right? Things that need our attention, things that need our attention in the world. We are a force to be reckoned with, Highland. We are a force to be reckoned with when we put our energy together, right, y'all? And that is what we are supposed to do in this awakening, is send that energy not just to those people who love us back, but to those people who do not. Not just to send energy to those who are doing good, but to those who are not. Not just to send our energy to all the beautiful, wonderful things in this world, but to send our energy to those things that are not. We have a job, y'all. Step into it. Live your truth, y'all. All right. I love every single one of you. I am finally going to go. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I hope it snows here. It's supposed to start this afternoon around 3 o'clock. So I have my fingers crossed. We have not had any snow except for one day in November where it snowed for half an hour. I took a little bit of video of it while I was driving because it looked like flying in the Millennium Falcon. And so I hope that it snows, y'all. If it snows, I'll do a little video of the snow, okay? A lot of you have way too much snow and you're like, we don't care about your snow. For me, it's still exciting. Okay, y'all, I love you. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing card reading videos on TikTok. So if you are a younger person who is on TikTok, if you are an older person on TikTok, if you like entertainment, let me tell you something. There are some of the most entertaining comedy bits on TikTok in 60 seconds or 15 seconds that I have ever seen on Saturday Night Live. Like they rival some of the classic Saturday Night Live things. There's so much creativity. There is so much amazing work that goes into these things on TikTok. If you have a room on your phone for it, you should do it. Over there, I'm Lee Kara Universe, and I put out a daily horoscopy type thing, not horoscope, but like a card reading thing. I'm practicing with my card reading, y'all, so I can do it live for you guys. So go over there. You are going to be so amused. And believe me, when you start scrolling, like an hour is going to go by. You're going to go, oh, damn. You won't even realize it because there's some really funny stuff on there. Anyways, okay. I love you guys so much. And I will see you next week. Bye, YouTube.